So, so Ruto's Western tour has brought out a lot of controversies, especially with the comments he did towards Gachagua. So there's been a lot that has happened during his Western tour, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about why his tour is significant and why Western. Why Western during this time? So if you're new here, welcome to the Uncut with X. Here we give out mostly political opinions on political matters. So welcome to the channel. Make sure you like, you subscribe to the channel, and you leave a comment. So there's this thing that interests me when seeing people's comments. Sometimes it's not even that the comment is about what you're talking about or complements my opinion, but I just enjoy seeing other people and how they reason. Most of the time, it's people disagreeing with me, but I still enjoy it as well. So make sure you leave a comment. It doesn't matter. We are here to talk about these things. This is the Uncut with X. Don't fear anything. So we'll start by playing Gashagua's video. So where Gachagua talks about he opens up his heart to the insults he has received during the Western tour. So I'll just play the video, then we'll give out our reactions after the video.
His deputy president. Make Mombi his prime cabinet secretary. Make the 9 daughters, Washera, Waidera, Wanjiru, Wambui, and all as cabinet secretaries. Nothing would change. The mountain is gone on forever. Because the mountain hates betrayal and hates deception. Those are two things that the people of the mountain hate. So no amount of appointing anybody in this region will change anything. The people are through with President William Ruto because he betrayed the region and he deceived the region. And his remedy, that is a matter, is a closed chapter. And I have to be correct, and in the fullness of time.
So on this video, Gachagua is speaking and saying that nothing will make the people of Mount Kenya go back to William Ruto. And he speaks truth. This is just a part of the video. I'll play the rest of the video that he did during this live stream later on, but let's just start from here. So when Ruto was on his Western tour, they and the Prime Minister and Kimani Ichung'wah, they were all attacking Gachagua. And you'd ask yourself, why would they attack Gachagua even after he's already impeached? I mean, Gachagua right now is super powerless in terms of leadership. They have impeached him, meaning he can't run for any political office again. So they have literally made this man powerless. But why are they continuing to insult him and just drag him down? It's because they understand whatever Gachagua is saying on this video is true. It's the fact that whatever they do, they can't win Mount Kenya back. So this is what I thought Ruto was trying to do when he impeached Gachagua. So his initial plans, in my own view, this is not how probably he thought, but in my own view, the reason why they impeached Gachagua and put Kindiki. So in Mount Kenya, there are two parts of Mount Kenya. So there's the eastern side and the western side. The eastern side being the Tharaka Nithi, Meru, Embu, that side. The western side being Kiambu, Nyeri, and etc. So the reason why he took it from one person and gave it to the other, it's because he wanted the region to split. He wanted a split between this side of the Kikuyus and the other side of the Embus and Merus and the people of Tharaka Nithi. But that shift never happened because Kindiki's appointment wasn't significant. And this is why I'm saying it wasn't significant. So it was an inauguration for the bishop. I don't know how to call it. The thing where they appoint a bishop. So Ruto attended that, and Uhuru was also in attendance. So you could see people boo Ruto during that speech while he was talking about his own bottom-up agenda. On the other side, Gachagua got welcomed when he visited that region. So that shows you that the shift never happened. Kindiki wasn't a significant decision to be made. So the decision of appointing Kindiki as deputy president, it didn't do the purpose that they thought it would do. So their plan was to divide these two regions, making the votes divided, thus ensuring their win in the upcoming elections. And we're going to talk about why Western is very, very important. Because remember, in Kenya, we have three major regions. I don't want to mention tribes, so I'll just call them regions. So we have the Western region and the Central region. So these are the top two. The Central region being number one, the Western region being number two, as per the latest census. Then we have the Rift region being number three. So Ruto currently has majority. I'm not saying all, because Ruto doesn't have 100% of the Rift. So currently Ruto has majority of the Rift region as his own backing. And he has had this region for a while, since I remember 2013. This has been his region. On the other hand, Gachagua currently looks like the person who is going to inherit the Central region. Although he cannot vie, but he still has this region, the most majority region in the country. He has it. And that's why I think he was impeached, because he was a threat. So you're having a deputy who is having a majority, or who would possibly have a majority regional backing on his side. This was one of the reasons why I think he was impeached, because he was a threat to the president. And back to my story of the region. So you have these three major regions: the Western region, the Rift region, and you have the Central region. So Ruto wanted to split the Central region. It hasn't worked. So his only remaining region for him to win an election easily is getting the Western region. And this Western region used to belong to Raila Amolo Odinga. And he's probably going to inherit it from Raila Amolo Odinga, because I think currently the way the Western MPs, the Nyanza MPs, and the coastal MPs behave, you can tell that Raila has promised those regions to Ruto. So I think that was part of their deal in the broad-based government, to ensure that Ruto gets those regions where Raila used to have. And one of his biggest region is the Western region. That's where majority of his votes comes from, the Western region. And currently, that's the only region that Ruto wants. So I'm going to play another video of Gachagua warning the people of Western not to be fools like the way the people of Central were. Because according to Gachagua, and that's another that's what I also think is going to happen. So according to Gachagua, he thinks that Ruto is planning to use the Western region just as he used the Central region to win the elections in 2022. Gachagua thinks that Ruto is going to use the Western region to win an election in 2027. So let's take a look at this video.
You can hear everybody now is just abusing me in Western Kenya. The president and his team went there for a development tour, and Rigathi Gachagua has become the center of that tour. Instead of discussing roads, they are discussing Rigathi Gachagua. Instead of discussing water, they are discussing Rigathi Gachagua. Instead of discussing sugarcane farming, they are discussing Rigathi Gachagua. And I want to tell the people of Western Kenya to be very, very careful, to learn from us. The president was here for 5 years. He would spend 6 days here, he would spend 7 days here, and that's the way he convinced us to vote for him. So you be very careful. You can learn from us. You are just being wooed the way he wooed us. Now he doesn't come here because we know him. You know, he cannot repeat the same thing again because he was here. He was here in church every Sunday. He was in every village. He knew every road by name. Now he's disappeared because the people of here have known him. They have known that all those things he told us were not true. They were lies. And he cheated us and he conned us. So I want to tell the people of Western Kenya to be careful. We have seen that script before. What is happening is what happened to Mount Kenya region. So he is 6 days, 7 days in Western, promising this, promising that.
This is Gachagua telling the people of Western Kenya to be careful. And if you ask me what my thoughts about this video, I think whatever he's saying is true, because the only way for Ruto to win the 2027 elections, let's just say it as it is, the only way for Ruto to easily win 2027 elections is if the Western region backs him up. Forget about Nyanza, forget about the coastal region, forget about any other region that you're thinking about. The Western region in the 2027 election will be significant because they are going to be the determinant this time. So in last year's election, the central region was the determinant because they had the numbers and everyone was trying to get them at that time because they were the only region who were at sale, if I may use that word. But currently, we have the Western region, which probably won't have anyone having that region. So that's going to be the only region that whoever will be running against Ruto will want to have also. But if Ruto finds a way to get the Western region and still have his regional backing, which is the Rift region, he's going to be president. So it's going to be a very significant region. And that's why we are seeing Ruto going to that region. And Gachagua is also saying the same thing, that Ruto used these same tricks in central region. He used to visit, he used to hang out. So you're seeing Ruto doing all this PR, cutting sugarcane with the farmers, attending their rallies, attending while they're receiving the sugarcane bonuses for farmers. So he's trying to get in touch with the people. You could see Ruto in schools, Ruto in the marketplaces, in market centers, and he's doing this across Western region. And it's not by mistake, it's a deliberate act to try and get Western region. It's a strategic plan to take over Western region because it's going to be very, very vital. Do I think it's really going to work? To some extent, yes. I don't want to believe this, but I think it's going to work because the amount of campaign that Ruto is doing, you know, we as Gen Zs, we like to say Omtata might win. Some may say that Matiang'i might come and win. Other people mention Maraga. But the truth of the matter is, I don't like to say this, but the way Ruto is moving in terms of his campaigns, in terms of the money he puts to these campaigns, he's probably going to win the 2027 elections because there is no way you can do all these campaigns. He has already started doing campaigns. Other people are not doing anything. Ruto is already on the ground campaigning in the grassroots levels. I know I might sound like a pro Ruto guy, but if you've been here for a while, you know that I'm not pro Ruto, but we say the truth as it is. The way he's doing campaigns like this, he's probably going to win the 2027 elections unless someone else comes up and does the same. The reason why Ruto won in 2022 wasn't because of luck, it was because of his strategy. And not unless we have someone who's strategic enough to try and go against him, he's going to win the elections easily. Ruto has always won these elections because of his strategy. That is a thing that I've always said. Ruto wins because of his strategy. And that's why I think the likes of Okia, the likes of Matiang'i, or any other guy that is going to run in 2027, I'll not mention Kalonzo because I don't think that guy will ever win an election in Kenya, especially a presidential election. So let's focus with guys like Matiang'i, guys like Okia Omtata, guys like Jimmy Wanjigi. So let's focus with them. Do I think they will win an election if it was held today? The only thing that could favor them is the fact that Ruto is unpopular. But other than that, the campaigns Ruto is putting in he has to win. You can't just be a president out of luck. You have to literally win an election, and elections are won through massive campaigns. And this is what Ruto is doing. No, remember, guys like Okio Mtata, they are really popular in social media, but now when it gets to the grassroots levels, things like attending funerals and going going to their rallies and whatever. This is what works at grassroots level, and this is what Ruto is currently doing. So if there's anyone who would want to take over, or rather to be a president in Kenya, a region that I'd look out for is the Western region, because I think it's going to be significant. I think Ruto will be there multiple times before 2027. I think he's going to do a massive campaign there. The Western MPs are already aligned to him, except Salasia. And the only thing that I think is going to threaten Ruto in Western Kenya is George Natembeya, the governor of Trans Nzoia, because he's doing a lot of mobilization and he's getting popular in Western region. So those who don't understand Western region, there's these places where there's majority of people. One is Bungoma, the other one is Kakamega, the other one is Trans Nzoia. So if George Natembeya manages to get Bungoma and Trans Nzoia, he would have already spoiled Ruto's Western votes. And that's why you see Natembeya being a threat to the likes of Ruto. That's why you see Kimani Ichung'wah attacking Natembeya, because they know that he's a force on his own and he might take over a majority of Western, which is the Bungoma part and the Trans Nzoia part. If you take Bungoma and Trans Nzoia, that's like already 60% of Western. You're just remaining with 40%, which won't count. So that's why I think they fear this governor Natembeya, governor of Trans Nzoia. So others will wait and see how they fall out. I want to close this video here, but there's more to talk about on Ruto's Western tour. Remember, Ruto is still in his Western tour by the time I'm doing this. And yeah, so that's it. Make sure you do a comment. What's your thought on this? Do you think the Western region is going to be significant? Do you think it's the central? Do you think it's the rift? Do you think it's the coastal? Make sure you leave a comment. I'll be there checking out whether you leave it or not. So make sure you like, subscribe, share it to a friend.